See if the YouTubes are working as they should. Hopefully they will be. Hop onto the main account. Make it easier for me. And there is the Pacific Elite stream. And everything is working as it should. So the stream's up, the audio is working, and the chat's up as well. Fantastic. Hello everyone, and welcome to round 6 of the PlayStation Pacific Elite Championship here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event, and this time we are racing at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. Revered as one of the all-time great circuits in motorsport, this 7-kilometer, 19-turn course is without a doubt one of the most fierce and challenging on the calendar. Its nature and reputation comes from the fact that there is absolutely no margin for error, and any mistakes from exceeding those margins will prove to be incredibly costly. You have auto-spin curves at turns 5 Les Comps, turn 10's Pouhon, and the S section of turns 12 and 13. Blanchiment, turn 17 in wet weather conditions can become a total nightmare. Even the pit entry is a hazard spot because of how incredibly narrow and awkward it is. Of course, there's the circuit's iconic piece, the infamous Eau Rouge Raidillon complex of turns 2, 3 and 4. A fast-flowing and fearsome bit of track where cars are constantly on the edge of grip and has been the scene of bravery and tragedy ever since it was created in 1925. Overtaking is somewhat limited here, with only 2 DRS zones that lead into turn 1's La Source and turn 5. We tend to see DRS trains forming over the course of the race, making it difficult for drivers to pass, which means track position is going to be, more than likely, a key factor in determining who wins tonight. That makes this qualifying session all that more important. But before we focus on qualifying, there is a little bit of news to go through first from last week's race in France. Only a single incident report, and we caught it on stream as well, between Roscoe and BPV8. They had a biffing and bashing battle at one point during the race, where they both pushed each other off the racetrack. A report was handed in and the stewards deemed no further action. Both drivers were equally at fault during their little battle, so no penalties were handed out. And as a result, the results stand from last week. Looking at the Drivers' Championship, we have Ferrari Pro leading on 117 points, followed by ACW on 99, 18 points behind. Plebs is P3 on 84 points, followed by Pump on 75. Roscoe is P5 on 68, followed by Silderport in P6 on 62. BPV8, who has a qualifying ban for this race, is currently 7th in the Drivers' Championship on 55 points. Alex Pato and Bags Liddell are currently holding equal 9th on 41 points. And Gilles rounds out the top 10 on 36. Looking at the constructors, Alfa Romeo are leading on 167 points, followed by Ferrari on 140. McLaren are third on 125, followed by Mercedes on 116. Red Bull are next on 75, followed by Haas on 60, Aston Martin on 53, AlphaTauri on 31, Alpine on 15, and Williams are at the bottom of the table on 14 points. That's basically it in terms of news. We can now focus on qualifying. Dry for both sessions, says Ferrari Pro, so we shouldn't have any wet weather interference, which is fantastic news. And we can see already a few drivers trying to set times on the medium compound tyre. The strategy here is fairly simple, as Ruud sets the first benchmark time at 1 minute 44.965. Strategy basically boils down to either soft medium or medium soft, as Chip proceeds to beat his teammates' time by 0.2 of a second. Trouble with starting on the medium tyre is that if you don't keep up with the leaders at the start, you're kind of stuck, unless there's a safety car at some point, which is not uncommon here at Spa, as Average only jumps up to the top of the table. But, yeah, starting on the mediums can be a bit of a risk, but We'll see if anyone tries to start on the medium compound tyre. See if we can make it work for them. A few drivers are making their way around. ACW is coming to the end of a flying lap. He's heading up towards Blanchimont, turn 17, a corner I mentioned earlier. This corner is really simple in the dry. It's absolutely flat out. Simple turn in, no real problems. Don't want to use too much of the inside curve, but that's a pretty common story with most of the corners here at Spa. But in the wet, that turn can become a real nightmare. It's a bit like turn 10 at France, at Circuit Paul Ricard. It is... Oh, as G-Force Zach goes into the back of Ghost Rider, who was sitting on the racing line, going awfully slowly. Zach, I think, was on a flying lap. I say I think because he's got a flashing red icon there, suggesting he is low on fuel. He's letting traffic through. But that is quite nasty. If someone does have a 5 grid place penalty, I'll quickly check that while it's early in qualifying. So you can see that Ghost Rider, a 5 grid place penalty for a collision with G-Force Zach. There we go. So Zach himself doesn't have a penalty from that collision. I think. Just a warning? I think. Oh, exceeded track limit. Yeah, righto. Interesting. So the only harm to come from that is Ghost Rider with a 5 grid place penalty. Suppose we should be thankful for that. No one's out of the session just yet. Let's see. Who's starting a flying lap? No one's really close at the moment. I think the closest we have, as Andre's going to finish a flying lap here, crosses the line and jumps up to P7 with a 45.2. We'll go with Alex, I think. He's the closest to starting a flying lap. We're right on board with the Italian. We'll give you a guided tour of this legendary 7-kilometre 19-turn circuit. Exiting the bus stop chicane onto the main straightaway, he opens DRS and begins his flying lap. Down towards La Source, the tight hairpin, that is the first corner, second gear, then short shifting to third on the exit to maximise traction out of the corner. Down towards the famous Eau Rouge Radillon complex, turns 2, 3 and 4. Even in the dry where you have all this grip, that's quite an intense bit of racetrack. You do have to be quite careful. Down the Camel Straight towards Lake Om, turn 5. Probably the best overtaking spot on the circuit. Chucks in it at high speed. Don't want to use too much inside curve there at turn 5. Otherwise you'll spin your car. Exiting turn 7. Down towards turn 8. The right-hand sweeper of Rivage. Then up towards No Name, turn 9. You have to be careful here as well. I have seen a couple of times the drivers understeering into the barrier on the outside. Around Pouhon, turn 10. You really have to be careful of that inside curve. You touch it, you spin, you'll likely crash out. Into turns 12 and 13. These inside curves can be quite dangerous as well, as they'll spontaneously rotate your car. Around Stavelot, turn 14. Crossing the second sector split around turn 15 now. It's now just a flat-out dash towards the bus stop chicane. These corners are relatively easy in these sort of conditions. You just keep it nice and pinned around Blanchimont. 2 corners remain for Alex, as there's Andre getting out of the way. Good job there. All right, into the bus stop now. Second gear. Around the final corner, first gear, short shifting to third on the exit. He'll open DRS, cross the line, and jump up to second place with a 1 minute 42.304. Missing out on pole position by 0.07 of a second to ACW. But pretty tight at the top, as Ferrari Pro also goes into the 42s with a 42.7. Pump here is making his way towards the second sector split. Around turn 14, uses enough of the curb on the outside there. Around turn 15, this is another corner where if you understeer wide, that barrier on the outside can be really, really deadly. It comes at you quite quickly around such a high-speed corner. Seen quite a few drivers hit that barrier on the outside of 15. It's never It's never nice. It's always quite nasty, an accident there. Exiting the bus stop, you'll open DRS, head up towards the line, and pump. There's a 43.5. And he's the only driver in the 43s as well. Car in front, Ferrari Pro, make that Gilles now, has done a 42.8. Average only is in P6, he's done a 44.4. So there's a pretty big gap between sort of the lead group and this midfield group. Average only beginning a flying lap. He's heading around La Source, turn 1. Important that you get this right. Oh, he understeers, he spins! He's spun 180 degrees. He's driving backwards. He's blocking the pit lane entry. Exit, I should say. He might get disqualified if he's not careful. Fortunately, he gets the car moving and avoids disqualification. Black Moon making his way through Eau Rouge and Radillon. Absolutely flat out at 300 kilometers an hour. You can only imagine the sheer amount of G-forces a driver has to put up with through that section. It'd just be unreal. And he's up by 0.06 of a second in the first sector. See what some of the other drivers are up to. Chip here, I think he might be ducking back into the pit lane. Find out. Yes, he is. You do have to be careful with that pit lane entry. My goodness, it is so narrow. So incredibly narrow. It's very easy to turn in too early, as Metz invalidates his flying lap here. It's so easy to turn too early, hit the wall on the inside, or turn too late and hit the wall on the outside. It's never fun. As I think Metz has had a moment just in front of us here. There he is. He's doing a bit of lawn mowing. He's Alpine. Seen that a few times this season of Alpine drivers doing lawn mowing. I guess the Alpine engineers have put a fair amount of R&D points into the car's grass cutting capabilities. That would be my most educated guess. Ghost Rider here. Got 2 more corners to negotiate. The bus stop chicane, even though it isn't really a bus stop anymore. It's a simple, tight double hairpin chicane-like thing. As he improves by 7.5 tenths, he stays 14th fastest with a 45.3. Player's making his way through the middle sector, using all the outside curb. Coming up to the middle sector split. He's yet to set a lap time. One of 4 drivers yet to set a lap time. As Blackman, I think he might be going back into the pits. He is. He's just improved by about half a second. Set a 44 flat. See what Plebs can do here. He's running low on fuel. So he might duck back into the pits. No, he's going to complete this flying lap. 40, 41, 42. It's a 42.9 effectively. Goes 5th quickest. So we've got 2 McLarens in the top 5. I'll be pretty happy about that. I'm sure. Roscoe coming towards the end of a flying lap. He gets a bit of a tow from his teammate, who in turn is getting ready to set a flying lap, I think. Through the chicane. Nice and tidy there from Roscoe. Where will he jump up to? P7 with a 43.281 as his teammate ACW actually goes back into the pits. Let's see here. Silverfort. Another driver yet to set a lap time. Comes around Blanchimont. Only 2 corners remain. The bus stop chicane. You have to be pretty on point. Don't want to outbrake yourself here. It's quite easy to do. And actually, he just ducks back into pit lane. Fair enough. How much time have we got left? Ah, oh, that's infuriating. I think it's Ferrari Pro going slowly. It is. He's out of fuel. And he's bringing out that yellow flag indicator, so I've got no idea. Hang on, see if I can cheat it a bit. No, can't catch the timer. Bugger. Oh well, can't see the timer for a bit, so I'm a bit unknown with how much time we have left. There we go, 3.5 minutes left in qualifying. That's all we got. So we're getting towards the business end. Getting towards a point where the drivers are getting ready to set their final flying laps. Rude here will definitely be coming into the pits. Low on battery, low on fuel. Yep. Oh, cutting a fair bit there. Almost hitting the inside wall. Process. Average only getting ready. Currently 13th quickest with a 44.4. He is one of 6 drivers in the 44s. If he can improve by half a second and duck into the 43s, he'll jump up quite a few positions. Down the main straight he goes towards La Source. Brings it down to 3rd gear, doesn't bother using 2nd. Gets nice traction this time compared to last time when he spun out, and he's actually backed out. You see there, he's not using any battery. He was at about 85% throttle as well. So what I'm guessing he's doing, he's just doing a 2nd sort of outlap so he can dump a bit more fuel. That would be my guess. Alright. Probably best to keep our eyes towards the top of the table. Gilles getting ready. Currently 4th quickest with a 42.8. He needs to improve by 0.6 of a second to try and take pole position. Quite the mountain to climb. See if he's up to the challenge. A slow AlphaTauri there of Andre, probably out of fuel, just trying to get out of the way. Gilles go nice and slowly into the bus stop, take a very wide line around the final corner to try and maximize straight line speed down the pit straight. He'll cross the line to begin his flying lap, just under a minute and a half left in qualifying. Around turn 1, down the hill, climb up through the gears into 7th gear as Andre retires in the pit lane. Into top gear goes Gilles, through Eau Rouge, then into Radillon. Nice and flat, nice and steady there from Gilles. He'll open DRS. I think that is Ferrari Pro just in front. I don't think he'll have enough time left to try and set a flying lap. Yeah, that is Ferrari Pro. He won't have time. Oh, and Gilles goes straight on. He goes straight on at Les Combes. Perhaps a bit distracted from Ferrari Pro. I'm not sure. He slowed down. Oh, hello. No. None of that. That's just unnecessary. He cut off Ferrari Pro there. He might have distracted you, but don't do anything stupid. ACW making his way towards the infamous complex, flat out in 8th gear. Nice and steady there from ACW. Down the Camel Straight he goes. He'll open DRS. Watch that speedo climb over 320 kilometers an hour. 322, 323, 324 as he goes into Les Combes. Through turn 6, there's a backwards facing Alpine there. Is that Metz? It might... No, it's average only. Average only has spun at turn 6. Around No Name, turn 9. Down the hill towards Pouhon. You have to be nice and committed here, but you can't touch that inside curb. ACW does no such thing. Towards turns 12 and 13. Brings it down to 5th gear. Uses all the inside curb there. Around turn 13. Nice and steady. Around Stavelot, turn 14. Short shift to 5th to find the traction. He's up by almost half a second in the middle sector. He's looking at a 41. Coming up towards Blanchimont, absolutely flat out. No hint of a lift there. Now the bus stop remains. Brakes hard, brings it down to 2nd gear. Hits the first apex. Uses a bit of the inside curb at the final corner. Pins the accelerator. Crosses the line. And does a 1 minute 41.869. Alex has invalidated his final flying lap. Plebs is up by half a second. With that sort of improvement, he could start on the front row. Let's find out. Through the bus stop in 3rd gear, then actually bringing it down to 2nd gear for the final corner. Crosses the line and jumps up to P3, just missing out on the front row by 16 thousandths of a second. As Rude, his session is done as well. So that's qualifying over. And it's HCW on pole position by a fairly healthy margin as well of 4.5 tenths of a second to Alex Pato, who wasn't able to improve at the end of qualifying. I'm quite impressed with how much some drivers were able to find time. Maybe the track ramped up in terms of its pace, I don't know, but they found time and then some. Quite right, Gav. This track does hold a lot of history. A lot of history. It's up there as one of the most legendary circuits next to the likes of Monaco, Monza, Silverstone. Hopefully, the race we have tonight complements that. But with the nature of Spa, sometimes the races can be a bit dull. But it's ACW on pole position, Alex in second, followed by Plevs, Ferrari Pro, Pump, G-Force, Zach, Hillers in P7, Silderfort P8, then Bags and Roscoe Arm rounds out the top 10, all of them starting on the soft tyre. Andre 11th, Rudin 12th, Black Moon 13th, Average Only in 14th, Chip in 15th, Metz in 16th, Ghost Rider in 17th, and BP. Actually, no, Ghost Rider will start from 18th because of his grid place penalty. BP didn't end up setting a lap because he has a qualifying ban. But he'll gain a free position. Start from 17th. Not quite for the same reasons, Bodod. I'm sure you'll agree. Slightly overcast conditions here at Spa. This is quite natural for this circuit. Just a few clouds here and there, a bit of fog, a slight sort of grey filter over the racetrack. Hopefully we're in store for a half-decent race. Spa can be a bit of a mixed bag in the virtual racing world. Hopefully we get to have some fun tonight. I'm sure many people would agree with the idea that Jeddah is a legendary circuit, but not for the same reasons for the likes of Spa or Monza or Monaco. It would be for its unique characteristics is probably the nicest way of putting it. Alrighty, drivers are setting off on their formation lap. Let's see who's starting on what. And as I kind of expected, quite a few drivers on the soft tyre. So a total of, what's that, 12 starting on the soft, 6 on the mediums. So it's a 2/3 to 1/3 split. It's not bad. Not at all surprising. Top 10, they're all starting on the soft compound tyre. Andre in P11 is also starting on the soft compound tyre. Rude in P12 is starting on the mediums. Same with Black Moon in P13. Average Only in P14 is starting on the mediums. Same with Chip in P15. Metz in P16 is starting on the mediums. BPV8 is also starting on the mediums. Ghost Rider starting from the back is on the soft tyre. It's a healthy split in terms of strategy, I'd say. It's healthy. Be interesting to see who actually comes out on top by the end of it. Problem is with Spa, just one subtle problem. Because it's a 7-kilometer long circuit, formation laps take forever. Yeah. Same with safety car periods. They take forever here. It's quite irritating. But I suppose it gives the drivers plenty of time to try and get temperature into their tyres. Not the soft runners would be worrying too much about that. Soft tyre can turn itself on pretty quickly. Medium runners, however, need a bit of work. Oh, I suppose we'll see if we'll have a Alonso and Leclerc into turn 1. Hopefully we don't. It's entirely possible though. We got an Alfa Romeo and McLaren starting on the front row. So to have a Charles and a Fernando impression isn't impossible. I just hope we don't see it. Leaders are lined up, ready to race. Waiting on Ghost Rider to line up into his grid slot and get this race underway. Rightio. 18 drivers on the grid, a fairly healthy field for tonight. Everyone is ready to go. We've got 10 red lights. And we are underway here in Spa. ACW has the inside line, so if he gets a half-decent start, he will lead the field out of turn 1. And he most certainly will. Plebs and Alex are side-by-side exiting the first turn. So is the rest of the field, basically, as they head down towards Eau Rouge and Radillon for the first time. G4 Zach and Pump are side-by-side through Eau Rouge. And Zach gets him around the outside of 3. He goes into P5. Pump down to P6. Now, Plebs is fairly close. Actually, Alex is closer here. He's trying to draw alongside ACW, trying to go around the long way at turn 5. ACW has none of it, though. He hangs on to the lead. In the midfield here, it's pretty tame. We got yellow flags, though. That's Black Moon. Black Moon, I think, in the Ferrari. Actually, no, it's Rude, sorry. In the Williams, who brought out the yellow flags. And he's down in 18th place now, a long way behind the field. Through Pouon. Around turn 11. ACW, he'll be trying to pull away from Alex. There's the predicted tyre stop strategy. So the pit window is about lap 8 to 9 for the soft runners. So keep an eye on the top left. And that lap counter reaches about lap 7. I'd say some drivers will be willing to pit. Try and get a bit of an undercut. Alex desperately trying to keep up with ACW. Black Moon has overtaken Ghost Rider. Down towards the bus stop chicane. Alex is close. Not close enough to try and send for the lead. Exiting the bus stop chicane now. We end the first lap of 22 here at Spa as BP overtakes Metz. The gap at the front is only 0.3 of a second. It's pretty close. Yellow flags again. This time it's Ghost Rider spinning at the final turn. Gets going again. Down the hill towards Eau Rouge and Radillon. Absolutely flat out through here. As they go onto the Camel Straight, Alex is close. He's very close. He's trying to draw alongside the Alfa Romeo as they head down towards Les Cols. Towards turn 5 they go. Alex swoops round, gets the position. He takes the lead here at Spa. ACW not putting up too much of a fight, and that's quite understandable considering it's only the second lap. There's plenty of racing to get through. Plenty of time to try and retake the position. Plez has got his wing mirrors full of Ferrari at the moment. The Ferrari Pro just behind, who is using the esports line. Good to see at least one driver is trying to use it, as he understeers wide at turn 10, likely giving himself a warning there. You see here, not too many drivers making up places. The biggest is BP down in P12. From starting 17th, he's now up 5 positions into P12. Metz up 3 positions, starting from 16th. He's currently 13th. Black Moon and Rude have lost the most positions off the start as BP overtakes Andre for P11. Down towards bus stop chicane. Ferrari Pro. I thought he might have a go there, but he didn't. Fair enough, I suppose. We've got this huge DRS train from Alex all the way down to Roscoe. This huge train. And BP, you'll need to get a bit of a move on, get within that 1 second of Roscoe. You don't want to miss out on DRS. It's too powerful. And I think he's just within range. Yes, he is. So you will get a bit of DRS, a bit of a helping hand. Try and close the gap. awfully close to one another. ACW doesn't go for a move for the lead. Making their way around turn 7 now. Pump is losing a bit of ground to G-Force Zach. He needs to stay with the top 5. Cannot afford to lose time. You don't want to separate the train now. Stay as close as you can. These guys pretty close to one another. Sector 1 and 2 yellows. That is Rude again. Same corner as well. Loses a bit more time. Through the middle sector comes the midfield. BP, he's right on the back of Roscoe. I believe he's currently the highest placed medium runner. There you go. P11. Just behind Roscoe. I'm trying to challenge for position. These two came together at France. They're now side by side here at Spa. As they head around Blanchimont, BP takes 10th place. Close stuff. Roscoe tries to fight back. He has a look down the inside of turn 2, but he decides to hang back, stay behind the Haas. Thank goodness we didn't see any contact. A few drivers into the pit lane, I think. No. I just... oh. I thought I saw drivers running wide at the final corner trying to go into the pits. Obviously I saw incorrectly. Roscoe is close. Does he have the straight line speed though? Not DRS, but so does BP. They come to the feed. ACW taking the lead back as Alex spins. The two make contact and Alex spins out. Just be careful rejoining. There are rules about rejoining. He does a pretty good job. There goes average only and Metz. Chip is coming now. Same with Black Moon. Oh, hello. What's happened to these two? These two have gone off the road as well. The two Alpines simultaneously go off the circuit. Metz has got pretty big damage, so does average only. And we have a safety car as a result. No retirements, but a safety car has been deployed. There we go. Alex is now all the way down in 12th. Got a lot of work to do to try and claw his way back towards the front. He and ACW came together at turn 5. Alex got the short straw. Lost 10 positions also as a result. See what the leaders do here. Will any of them try and pit? Even at this point. ACW is. Plevs is. Same with Ferrari Pro, same with G4 Stack. All of the soft runners will be coming in. BP stays out, that's understandable. Oh, Roscoe goes into the wall at pit entry. Like I said, even the pits are a hazard here at Spa. Double stack for both Mercedes-Benz and Red Bull. Mediums for Ferrari Pro, mediums at the ready for Roscoe. He hasn't got a front wing change at the ready, so it seems that he didn't get any damage from hitting the pit lane wall, as average only gets a 5-second penalty for speeding. Basically everyone's moved on to the mediums. Chip hasn't, he's moved on to the hard tyres, same with Metz, but I believe they started on the mediums, so the hards is the only tyre available. Interesting, the safety car hasn't caught the leader. How hasn't it caught the leader? Should have easily caught it. There it is there. Pass it. Pass it. Green light means go. Just remember that. Remember that simple rule? Safety cars become a breeze. I know, interesting. I thought it would have easily caught the leader. But it hasn't. Interesting. Everyone's made their stops, it seems. Can bring it back to this. Ghost Rider 3 seconds. Metz has 3 as well. Average only with 5. BP decides to stay out. Interesting. Interesting. Oh well, this gives me the prime opportunity to talk with chat, I guess. Hello, chat. I don't think the safety car is glitched, KD. I think when the leader passes the safety car, it'll just stop and wait until the leader comes back around. You can see here the safety car is now actually moving. So yellow light means stay behind. Don't overtake me. Chip goes back into the pits. So he's moving back onto a set of mediums. So he's met his tyre compound requirement. And when they go away, he leaves. And he doesn't lose too much as a result. He only loses 2 positions. Which is nothing down in, 16th. So. Yeah, everything's working fine. It's just when the leader overtakes the safety car just waits around for another lap. Well, I think it had to have passed the safety car. The safety car came out when the leaders were in the middle sector, so BP must have passed it by accident, I would think. What's a Renault? Good point. But it's been a little while since we've seen the brand Renault on a car. Getting more and more used to Alpine every day. Be keen to see what their livery looks like for this season. When are they releasing it again? Alpine 2022 F1 car. Come on, Google. 21st, so tomorrow. I'm keen to see it. I'd be interested to see how they incorporate the pink of BWT into the design. Don't really know how it would work. Hello, rude 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. I reckon this will be the last lap on the safety car. Did I mention that these periods take forever? Because they really do. There's the position change. Now with BP and Black Moon, they haven't stopped yet, so their position change is a bit scuffed at the moment. We'll have to wait until they make their first pit stop. You can still see though, the big loser at the moment is Alex, down 11 positions after his incident with ACW. A lot of work for him to do, but we know how capable he is. But even so, it's quite difficult to pass around here at the best of times. So. Yeah, I thought I did. On the formation lap. Man, these take forever. Really not much to talk about, to be honest. Hey, don't pass the safety car, BP. He's just trying to get a bit of temperature into his brakes, I think. Sped up rather quickly. Came to almost a dead stop. Quite keen for the new season of Formula One with the new cars. Be interesting to see how Cody's implement the new designs into their game. And how much different will the cars feel compared to this game. They are obviously vastly different cars by design. Be very interesting. As the safety car goes away, it goes back to its home in the pit lane. BP will now control the field. Leaving about, trying to keep temperature into his tyres. You come around Blanchimont. He's travelling rather quickly. The safety car should get back into the pits pretty easily, but even so, he could afford to just back up the field just a little bit if he wanted to. Through the bus stop chicane. It's a nice steady run through the final part of the racetrack, and he takes off. We're back under green flag running, and Silderfort is into the pits. Why are you in? Oh, front wing change, look at that. He's got damage to the right hand side of his wing. He's got a new one bolted onto the car. Fairly tight pack here between Black Moon, Plebs and Ferrari Pro. Plebs is trying to get out of the Ferrari sandwich, heading down the Camel Straight. Ferrari Pro weaving a little bit, trying to find the right car to slipstream behind. Down into turn 5, Black Moon leaves the door wide open. Oh, he almost hits his teammate there at turn 5, but they managed to get through unscathed. Plebs and Ferrari Pro, they're up in position each into P3 and P4. G-Force Zach sending it down the inside of Black Moon there. He's into P5. Through No Name they go. There'll be a bit of a sitting duck on those old tyres. Just won't have the outright pace of those around him. Through Puhon. Down towards 12 and 13. He won't be attacked here. Not really a spot where you can make overtakes happen. See his rivals behind close in just ever so slightly as they go around Stavilo. On turn 15, then up the hill towards Blanchimont. Pump, he needs to overtake Black Moon as soon as possible. He can't let Zach drive away from him. Zach, he's trying his best to keep up with the top 4 as Alex overtakes Bags for P10. Through the bus stop chicane, Bags unable to retake the position. Stays behind. Oh, he understeers a little bit. As they begin lap 9 of 22 here at Spa. Now we've got a train forming here with Black Moon at the front of it. G-Force Zach starting to drive away as Chip overtakes Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider overtaken by Metz as well. And average only, so he must have made a mistake at turn 1. Down the Camel Straight. Pump gets by into P6. Hillers. Can he follow suit? Let's find out. Oh, he's trying to go around the long way. Can't get it done there. He's now vulnerable to Roscoe Arm as they go through turn 7. Down the hill towards turn 8. Can Roscoe Arm send it? No, he won't be close enough. Through turn 8 they go. Roscoe Arm taking a far tidier line through turn 8, but Hill's still hanging on to P8. Alex trying to draw alongside, can't do it at turn 10. It's basically suicide trying to go down the inside of turn 10. Looking around the long way here at 12 though. He'll give him the inside line for 13, but he can't hang on to it. He wasn't able to hang on to the outside of Roscoe Arm. Just had no grip. Around turn 15. Average only is out. He is crashed out at turn 12. Oh, and Alex almost did the same thing at 15. Oh, that was close. As Roscoe Arm overtakes Black Moon. Silderfort. There is average only. Way off the racetrack. Full fella. Alex, Black Moon, side by side around the final corner. And here comes Bags Liddell to take 10th place. Nice bit of racecraft there from Bags as Metz brings out yellow flags. Having a bit of a moment, I think. Bags was just being nice and patient. He let the two in front go side by side. And through he went. Hang on. What's the yellow flag? Who's that? Down the main straight. What? What was the yellow flag on the... whatever. BP and ACW! ACW spins in a similar fashion to Alex! Oh no! And here comes the field. Oh, here we go. This is tight between Black Moon and ACW. There's Roscoe Arm well in front. And now ACW is down in 8th place. Alex gets by Bags, who runs wide at turn 8. Alex is now into P10. You see the Italian close in here through turn 10. Yellow flags are out a slow car. I think that's Metz this time. I think that's properly Metz. Through turn 12. Then 13. Will Alex send it here? No, not close enough. Might have a go at the bus stop. Can get a run here through 15. He is close. Very close. Sitting in the slipstream. Draws alongside. He overtakes the Ferrari before turn 17. So he's into P9. Sector 2 yellow flags. That's Silderford at the exit of 13. Hopefully he'll get going again shortly. Still yellow flags out, but he's going. That's the main thing. Black Moon now has to try and hold off Bags. I don't think will be a very easy task. Just on those old tyres. Don't really do anything on them. There's DRS and Ferrari Pro's overtaken Plebs. The Ferrari Pro is into second. ACW is overtaking his teammate for P7. Bag still behind Blackman. Always a bit tricky with the field as close as it is at the moment. Try and know where to look. Oh, a big wiggle there from Roscoe Arm at the exit of turn 9. Fortunately, he catches it pretty well. Still running smoothly. Bags getting by. Oh, spin! Spin is Black Moon. He has spun. Oh, hello, traffic. How are you? He gets going. He's now down in 15th. I wonder if he and Bags made any sort of contact, or maybe Black Moon ran over the inside curb at turn 11. Metz is not having a good day. He's spun again at turn 9. It's going again. BP out in front by 1.6 seconds. Ferrari Pro in P2. He's got Plez right behind. G-Force Zach in P4 as Ferrari Pro sets the fastest lap. 1 minute 45.9. A little bit of a wiggle there at the exit of turn 1. Plez, I reckon he is close enough, and he used a fair bit of battery at the exit of turn 1. Trying to keep up with the Ferrari. Using a bit more battery, he is going for the move. TRS open, and he slingshots by with absolute ease. Into P2 he goes. Through turn 5, then turn 6. Round turn 7. Nice and steady here from Plebs. Using the full width of the racetrack, but remaining in complete control. Ferrari Pro, all he can do is just follow as best he can. Really just can't make any moves here in the middle sector. You can see Plebs going away slightly as Ferrari Pro is using that esports line. The exit of No Name. As Metz has retired in the pit lane. So our second retirement. So both Alpines are out. They won't be scoring any points here in Spa. Round turn 15. See BP still pulling away. Even on old tyres, he's making them work. Around Blanchimont, turn 17. Down towards the bus stop chicane. Ferrari Pro, he is close. Through 18, through 19. He won't be able to attack into turn 1, as Hilles has had a moment, has he? He has. He's now down in 10th place, behind Bags Liddell. Wonder what happened to him at turn 18. Fortunately, he's on the back of somebody, so he'll have a bit of DRS to help him out. shall we? As Ferrari Pro will retake second place from Plevs. Very similar fashion to Plevs the lap before. Silverfork gets a 3-second time penalty. Hilles overtakes Bags. Fairly simple stuff there. Alex is on the back of Roscoe. He's trying to keep up with ACW, who has been trying to claw his way back towards the front. Both he and Alex have had moments at turn 5 which resulted in them losing a whole heap of places. And now stuck in P7 and 8. A fair bit of work to do. Probably need a bit of luck as well to go their way. Try and get back towards the front. Because if you don't have DRS, you're usually going to have a hard time catching up. Alex, I think he's close enough here. Doesn't have the speed to try and close in and perhaps try and attack into the bus stop. All he can do is just stay behind, and in fact Roscoe is pulling away. So the Alfa Romeo has slightly better straight line speed at the moment. Through the chicane. ACW trying to overtake Pump. Not using any battery, not bothering to use any battery here down the main straight. Exits turn 1, nice and steady there from ACW. Using a fair bit of battery down the hill. I think he wants to go for a move. Eau Rouge, and Radion. Here he comes. He'll open DRS. Away he goes. The overtaking looks so elementary. That's what DRS does. Why is it still on this camera? Alex, 3-second time penalty. That's his second penalty of the night. Needs to be careful with those. Quite nasty. Especially if there's a late race safety car. That always spices things up. Not too much going on in the rest of the field at the moment. Everybody's spreading out. Plebs, he's lost a fair bit of ground to Ferrari Pro. Gap has increased to 8/10. So long as he stays within that 1 second range though, he's still in the fight. Yellow flags, it's Alex. He's had a moment at turn 15. I think the Italian has got a broken front wing. He does. He has a missing end plate on the right hand side. So he'll have to come in and get that fixed. And I think considering how far away Roscoe was, I think he did that by himself. He's probably lost control on the outside curb and put it into the wall on the right hand side of the track, I'd say. Maybe even lost it on the outside curb. And he'll put on the soft tyres, he'll get a front wing change. And plummet all the way down the order. Now he needs a lot of luck to help him out. Here comes Bags. All this speed, he overtakes Hilles with the greatest of ease. Few drivers getting pens. Plebs you can see there, but someone got a pen before that. Might have been G-Force Zach? Not sure. I don't think anyone will be battling, might as well check. Scroll all the way down. It was Ferrari Pro. There you go. Roscoe a 3-second time penalty next to his name. The penalties are starting to show up. They're definitely going to play a factor in the results if we have a safety car. And I reckon if Roscoe didn't catch it there, we would have definitely had a safety car. He completely lost the back end at turn 14, managed to catch it. I think Rue got a 3-second time penalty. I think Ghost Rider got one as well. Yellow flags, it's Alex again. It's time at Pouon. Poor fella. But he's still in the points, just in 15th. That's the last point scoring spot in Race Spec. Yeah, he needs a safety car desperately. BP's still out in front, still with a 2-second margin. He's on pretty old tyres at this point. 15 lap old. Lovely aerial shot here, looking at the Haas, making its way around. ACW overtakes G-Force Zach for P4. ACW still yet to get a time penalty next to his name. Thanks, and Hillers still going at it. Alex overtaking Black Moon, who finally makes his pit stop. Just shows you that tyre wear isn't a massive factor around this circuit. BP's driving very well on those tyres. Plev's still trying to keep within that 1 second range of Ferrari Pro, but he's just been edging away with that gap. Ferrari Pro just extending it that little bit more, that little bit further every single lap. Will BP come in? Or will he stay out? Surely he'll stay out, yeah. He has to roll the dice. He has to hope and pray for a safety car at some point as Silverford gets a 3-second time penalty. This Ghost Rider has crashed. He has crashed. And we have a safety car. Well, there we go. A bit of luck has come around for some drivers. A lot of bad luck for Ghost Rider. He's crashed in the same spot that Alex did a few laps ago. Unfortunately, he got far worse results. He's out of the race entirely. We have our third retirement and drivers are in, obviously. We've got very few laps remaining. You got to pit for the soft tyre. Just got to do it. All of the leaders will come in. Well, maybe some of them won't. Maybe some of them will take the track position over better tyres. We'll be spending, what, 2 laps or so under the safety car, so we'll have about 3 remaining as Pump gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car. He's currently P6 and he's given himself a drive-through. Effectively, his race is over. But he shouldn't retire. Got 15 cars left, which means that if you finish, you'll score points. So might as well just keep digging in there. But he'll have to serve that drive-through. It's one of the unfortunate things about safety car and virtual safety car periods. You have to have your eyes glued to the delta, because if you don't, you will get a speeding penalty. It's quite easy to get. BP will come in. He'll bolt on soft tyres. Probably can't believe his luck. The safety car did come out. Ferrari Pro is in. Plevs is in. G-Force Zach stays out. ACW comes in. Pump comes in. Roscoe Arm comes in. Bag stays out. Hillez comes in. Now where will Bags... Will he be in second place? Looks like he might. Where's the Haas? Yeah, he'll come out in second quite comfortably. So a bit of gambling going on for Zach and Bags. They're staying out. They're taking all that track position. And they're going to try and hang on. I think that's a fair gamble. You might as well try something. If you want to go for the win, want to go for that big result, got to take a gamble. BP, yeah, third place. He's on soft tyres. He's going to be fairly rapid on those. Ferrari Pro and P4, our championship leader. He's looking at a fairly decent bundle of points if he can keep the car in one piece. Plevs in P5. ACW P6 with no penalties, I might add. Doesn't have any penalties next to his name at this point. So if he can keep out of trouble, he can stand to gain a lot of places and potentially a race win. Pump P7, Roscoe on P8, Hilles in 9th, Andre completes the top 10. And both Hilles and Andre, they don't have any penalties next to their name. Chip in P11, Black Moon in P12, also on no pens. And we've got Rude, Alex and Silderfort. The penalties, they're going to be the deciding factor in all of this. Several drivers with 6 seconds, a lot of drivers with 3. Pump with a drive-through. So you can effectively filter him out already. I think he's more or less going to finish in 15th unless somebody has an accident or multiple people have an accident, which is entirely possible. This is Spa, of course. This is going to be an interesting finish, I'm sure. There are 2 drivers on old medium compound tyres, but they're at the front. They've got the track position. It's not the easiest place to make moves. And with this safety car period, it will mean everyone will have charged batteries. So you don't have that advantage. You don't have a battery advantage in this sort of scenario. This is all going to be determined by the tyres, driver skill, and track position. And penalties, of course. Penalties, another big factor. Alright, so let's run it through again. So tyres. Top 2 are on all mediums. Everyone else is on the soft tyre. Got the pens there. So Zach, BP, Ferrari Pro, Plebs, Roscoe Arm and Chip, they all have 3 seconds. Rude, Alex and Silverford, they're at the bottom of the table. They have 6 seconds. Pump in P7 has a drive-through, which effectively takes them out of the running. Everyone else, Bags, ACW, Hilles, Andre, and Black Moon, they have no pens. They can really gain from this. But they need to keep out of trouble. Not let the leaders break away. Though I find that that's highly unlikely considering the top 2 are on old mediums, so. We'll keep it on the penalty graphic, because we know that the top 2 are the only 2 on the mediums. And this should be our final lap under safety car, which means we'll have 3 laps of green flag running, and that 3rd lap is going to be key, because on that 3rd lap we'll have DRS enabled. You got the huge DRS sign on the Kemmel straight before turn 5. That'll be a key area to watch at the final lap. It will be an almighty task for Zach and Bags to hang on at the front of the field, but I've seen weirder stuff happen in Formula 1. It's not impossible. They've got to be up to the challenge. BP, he's got to be ready to strike. Same with Ferrari Pro and Plebs. They're all battling on track due to the penalties they have. ACW has got a big advantage with no pens, but he could get one quite easily. All it takes is one warning and it could undo all the hard work you've done. Zach is bunching up the field. He's getting temperature into his tyres. Gonna come around the bus stop chicane. Nice and steadily. No antics going on here. He makes his way onto the pit straight. Oh, and Pump ducks into the pit lane. That's really good driving there from Pump. Just gets out of the way. We're back on the green flag racing. BP tries to send it already, but around the outside. Can he hold it there? He spins into the Mercedes. He crashes into the Mercedes. And I don't think Bags has got any damage, but BP most certainly does. He's got a missing end plate. He tried to be aggressive too early, and it's cost him dearly. He's down to 4th. Ferrari Pro's now got to run. Look at Zach trying to drive away. As Ferrari Pro is trying to look down the inside here to take second place away from Bags. Into Lacombe they go, and Ferrari Pro has done it. He is into P2. Plebs has overtaken BP as well, who's going to be a sitting duck with that wing damage. Here comes ACW to take P5 away, as Plebs overtakes Bags as well. Bags moves down to P4. Around No Name they go, down towards Puon. Rude, a 3-second time penalty. Too wide there, entering the right-hander. BP is awfully slow. He holds up Andre and Chip. Exiting 11, down towards 12 and 13. We got yellow flags. That's Rude, as Andre goes up the inside of BP. And Alex comes out of nowhere to take P9. What driving. Bags now falls down to 5th place. ACW overtakes him. So ACW is up into 4th. Ferrari Pro draws alongside, down the inside here at Blanchimont, and he takes the lead. Can Zach try and fight back? He looks to the inside. Will he go deep? The answer is no. Plebs tries to go around the outside. That will give him the inside line for the final corner. Oh, they almost make wheel-to-wheel contact there as they head onto the main straight. They begin lap 21 of 22, 2 laps to go. Around turn 1. Plebs will be trying to get by as he hits the back of the Red Bull just ever so briefly as they head down towards Eau Rouge. Only 3/10 separating them, using a fair bit of battery, as you'd expect. Coming around Radillon, Rude has overtaken BP, who was in the pits. That's why. Down the Kemmel Straight, Plebs is looking on the racing line to try and overtake Zach. Zach has still got the car in front though. As they head into turn 5, Zach, oh, he cuts in front of Plebs to hang on to P2. And there's ACW just behind. Alex has overtaken Andre as well for P8. Around turn 8 they go. Oh, ACW is awfully close to Plebs. He is very close. But the gap we've got to worry about is the gap between ACW and Ferrari Pro. That gap is the gap for the win, and ACW needs to get by as soon as possible as Zach understeers wide of Puon. Down towards 12 and 13. Really just can't do much through here, unfortunately. Roscoe is close. Bags overshoots it. Can he draw alongside? The answer is no, but Bags spins out instead. He spins on the inside curb and drops down the order. Plebs, he's got his wing mirrors full of Alfa Romeo at the moment. There's Ferrari Pro with a 2.7 second lead. Plebs is trying to draw alongside Zach into Blanchimont. He gives him room as well. Up towards the bus stop chicane. Can Zach fight back? Can he send it? The answer is no. And in fact, ACW goes around the outside to take 3rd place away from G-Force Zach. Well, that's the gap, 2.6 seconds, and this is the final lap. Lap 22 of 22, and I better bring up the leader gap. So the gap between ACW and Ferrari Pro is 3.1 seconds. That is going to close down the Kemmel Straight because ACW is going to get a whole heap of DRS. Here we go. He's going to open the flap, use whatever battery he's got left, and look at the overspeed. Look at him close in on Plebs. Can he go around the outside? He's going to try. Here we go into turn 5. Plebs goes in deep. They make contact. And ECW has to cut the course. Oh, and he cuts in front of Plebs to take P2. But he has to give up the position. He's overtaken illegally. Oh, he tries down the inside of turn 8. They make a lot of contact. And ACW gets back through. He gets back to 2nd. But he has to close in by a whole second to try and take the win away from Ferrari Pro. Through Puon, the gap is 4.2 seconds, and he closes in just a little bit. It's going to be a mega final sector from ACW if he's going to get this. Ferrari Pro, he can see the gap, but he can't be complacent as Roscoe unspins in a similar way to Bags as Hilles tries to get by around the outside at Stavolo. Can't get it done there. He stays in 5th place. Up towards the front, Ferrari Pro has only got a few corners remaining. The gap is 4.2 seconds. He just needs to get through the bus stop chicane unscathed, and it will be another win next to his name. Into turn 18, around turn 19. What a clinical drive from Ferrari Pro. He will take the win here in Belgium. ACW will end up taking 2nd place as he smashes the car into the wall, and Plevs will take third. Gilles in P4 actually make that NZ Andre. He takes P4 at the end of the race. What an effort from him. He's actually made up a few places, hasn't he? Yeah, look at that, up 7. Probably a solid driver of the day, I reckon, with that sort of performance. Gilles P5, Black Moon making up 7 as well in P6, and G4 Zach in P7. Chip as well, up 7 positions. A lot of up 7. 3 of them. Started from 15th, finished in 8th. Alex P9, Bags 10th, Rude 11th, BP what could have been, he finishes 12th. Pump crashes, he's 13th. And Silderfort will be our final finisher. And I failed to notice Roscoe DNF'd. So I'm guessing from that spin that we saw. Oh, he's going to reverse across the line. Well, fair enough. Might as well. I failed to notice that with that spin, he must have crashed into the wall. I just didn't notice. Who does get driver of the day game? Black Moon gets it. Okay. Even though Andre made up as many places and he finished in the highest spot, it doesn't matter, I guess. But well done, Ferrari Pro. He'll extend his championship lead over ACW. Not by a great deal, but he'll extend it nonetheless. No. Quite the dramatic ending, I'm sure you'll agree, to that race. But you kind of expect that with a late safety car now, don't you? But this is win number 4 in a row for F1 Ferrari Pro. He's just on a good streak at the moment, I think is the best way to put it. He's just in a good zone, and a bit of luck has gone his way, but that doesn't discredit what a massive effort it was. Ferrari Pro in, ACW in P2, Plez P3, Andre P4, Gilles P5, Black Moon P6, G4 Zach in P7, then Chip in 8th, Alex Pato in 9th, Bags in 10th, Rude 11th, BP with fastest lap finishes 12th, Pump in 13th, and Silderfort in 14th. Now Roscoe Arm is classified 1 lap down in 15th place, so I think he will score that extra point. And our non-finishers were Ghost Rider and the 2 of Mets and Average only. No, a dramatic end. Certainly a dramatic one. But I'll invite the top 3 shortly. Can have a bit of a chat about what happened. There we are, and Ferrari. There we are. Right here. So let's invite them in. ACW, and where is everybody else? There's Ferrari Pro, where is Plebs? Scroll. Of course you're not appearing online. Scroll. Load up friends list, please. Thank you. Scroll. There we are. They can join whenever, I guess. Just have to wait. No, it's certainly an entertaining finish to the race. Has anyone joined? Hang on. No one's joined. Maybe nobody's feeling it. No one's feeling chatty. Oh no, hello. There's someone. Hello, Ferrari Pro.
Hey man.
How was it out there today?
Oh man, pretty hectic.
I'd say so.
I'm just speechless. Four in a row.
Four in a row. Not a bad effort, is it?
Pretty bloody cool.
Hello, Plebs.
G'day boys, how are we doing?
Oh, I'm not too bad.
That's the way.
How are you?
More sweaty than last week.
Yeah, fair. Pretty intense
It's a very
final
hot
few
day.
laps.
Yeah, it's a pretty intense race. But yeah, enjoyable.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll see if ACW joins up or not. But we'll start with the interviews now. See what happens. So we'll start with you, Mr. Plevy. Not a bad effort. Another podium next to your name. Another P3. For the most part, it looked like a pretty tidy race from your end.
Yeah.
Was it like that behind the wheel?
Yeah, more or less. I think last lap with ACW was quite a bit of banging.
I noticed that.
I was covering the inside. I knew, it seemed like he was running quite a lot of downforce compared to me, and I knew I could at least get side by side, and then, I tried to box him out. I knew he would get side by side with the DRS rather, and I tried to box him out by braking a bit late, and I think he ran off track, which is fine. They came back on right in front of me, and then welcome ACW, by the way. I'm just talking about our last lap, and and then he gave the position back, which is you like to see, but then he sent it down the inside of the next corner and smashed into me anyway. So yeah, I don't know. It was a bit 50-50. So I'll have to watch the replay and see if I want to file a protest about that. But I think he also had an incident with Alex, because I was right behind that. I'm not sure what happened there, whether it was racing incident or not. But it seems like ACW had a really eventful race. I was just trying to keep it clean. And Ferrari had really good pace. I was sticking with him. I think we swapped positions a couple of times with DRS, and I thought probably can't keep doing that every lap, and I just stuck behind him.
Yeah.
I had a feeling there'd be a late safety car, because why not? There always is.
Oh, yeah.
And I was really contemplating staying out, and Zach and Bags did. I think if a few more people stayed out, it would have been really hard for anyone that pitted to get through, because Zach actually wasn't too slow.
No.
But Ferrari basically was able to get past him pretty quickly into the bus stop on that first restart lap, and then I couldn't get past into the stores. I could only get alongside.
Yeah. And
that was it for battling for the win. So GG to Ferrari. He drove an awesome race, and 4 in a row. That's crazy. That's some streak. And that's it pretty much.
P3 effort in qualifying as well. That's not too bad.
Yeah, I think it was a good lap. I wasn't sure if I was gonna pull something like that out, to be honest. I remember last season my pole was 42.7, so I improved by 4/10 on that. But mega lap from ACW getting in the 41.8. That's
41.8.
crazy quick. So really well done. I knew Marco was quick as well. He keeps having rotten luck. It's wild. His luck is. I think I had bad luck, but then I look at him and I'm it could be worse. He gets the worst luck.
Next week we're over to Soviet Russia for the at Sochi Autodrome.
Yep.
What are you feeling for that race?
Well, it's been a while. I haven't done it wasn't on the calendar last season on any series we did on anything, or maybe the sprint one, I can't remember, but haven't done actual 50% league race, so I don't know what the strategy is or anything, so I don't even know if I got a decent setup. So work to do for that one.
The strategy itself isn't too difficult. Tyre wear really isn't a thing.
Probably going to be easy soft medium again tonight then.
It more than likely will be, unless there's rain or anything stupid goes down or something. But no.
Yeah.
Nice effort from you, Mr. Plebs.
Thank you. Hopefully back talking to you next week, mate.
No, congrats on the P3 finish.
Thank you.
We'll move on to P2. ACW. Big effort in qualifying. 41.8. Holy cow. That is quick. How was that lap during
It
qualifying?
was a bit scruffy. I stopped up the bus stop. Not the lunch.
I couldn't tell. Mainly because I'm not good enough to tell.
I kind of missed the apex into the first bus stop.
Fair enough.
But, I mean, it's definitely a good lap.
Well, yeah, you were the only driver in the 41s by the end of qualifying, 41.8.
Yeah.
You out-qualified Alex by about 4.5 tenths, I think.
Yeah,
At
something
the-
like that.
Yeah. But unfortunately, your race didn't go exactly to plan, did it?
No.
Could you take us through it?
First one with Alex. He was lagging all over the place for me the whole entire lap. So I felt like I had to get past him because I could not stay behind him. Otherwise, I was probably going to crash with him just lagging.
Yeah.
I felt I was heading the corner. I tried to leave as much space as possible. It was obviously a tight corner.
Yeah.
Obviously, the auto spin curve on the right. And then I just felt a tap from on my side pod.
Yeah, but
And he's
spin.
around.
Mhm.
And then similar thing happened, but I was the victim with BP.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I was just too cautious. I broke a bit early because he swerved like right before the braking.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he just braved around the outside and collected me because I was a bit too cautious.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then the final lap with Plebs, like, because obviously the medium runners were just holding everyone up and Ferrari got past them quickly.
Yeah.
And he was like 3 seconds already. So like I knew I had to get past Plebs because like I got the huge slingshot with the DRS,
Yep.
which is like gains me so much time. But then I look back at the replay, I brake at the 50, like that's quite late, especially with DRS overtake etc. But then I just get plowed, and then I go off because I just feel I'm pissed because like I don't know why he's fighting with a penalty, but maybe he could get removed, I don't know. But yeah, he still has every right, but. And then I get a legal overtake, so I give it back to him and then just re-overtake.
Into turn 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by that point, it was pretty much
Game
over.
over already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough then. But from the sounds of things, it's not exactly a race to remember. So
Nope.
we'll ditch this week and look at next week, Sochi. What are you thinking for Sochi?
Very horrible.
Yeah?
Just remove the sausage curbs and I'll enjoy it, but
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Holy cow.
nah.
I used to really enjoy Sochi once upon a
Yeah.
time.
2019.
Yeah.
And then
And they put those massive curbs at the apex of like turn
at
8.
every corner. Like
The
every
penultimate
single
turn, you hit them, you send your car up into the air. Great fun.
Yep.
And, yeah, I can sympathise with that. And also, what is it, turn 15? Left-hander that's got a slight uphill bit before it. The back end
yeah.
has no grip around that corner.
Yeah.
So you go through it sideways. You have to counter steer
Yeah.
try and get out of it. It's great fun. But no, well.
Especially for controller for you.
Oh, it's great fun. Awesome fun.
Very fun.
But yeah, like I said before, sounds like it's a race to forget. But still, congratulations on your P2 finish, a big bundle of points next to your name. Hopefully you have a better week next week in Russia, but congrats
And
for
congrats
tonight.
to Ferrari. Just staying out of trouble, I guess.
That's it. And speaking of which, Mr. Ferrari Pro, win number 4 in a row. We mentioned it earlier. Quite a big achievement, especially in a tier like this with very high level of competition. You won at 4 very, very different racetracks as well. What's the feeling like, Mr. Ferrari Pro?
Pretty good, I guess. Like I'm a bit how can I, like a bit weirded out right now. Like I didn't think I'd be doing this good this season when I signed up for season 6, but yeah, I really felt the car felt good today, and yeah.
Kept out of trouble. Just drove your race. But qualifying, I think you put it 4th, if I recall correctly. How was that qualifying session?
it was pretty funny because like I went out and I didn't expect me to be out there for that long. I got distracted just doing laps and all that.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
I
That's right.
came out at the 2-minute mark and then yeah, I was doing low fuel the whole like lap in also.
Yeah.
So that,
Wasted time, yeah.
and yeah, qualified P4. And yeah, kept out of trouble turn on.
Actually, just harping back to qualifying, I noticed something between you and Hillez at turn 7.
I don't know what he was on about. I was leaving him enough room at Lakecom,
Yeah.
and like I went off the track so he could get it done. Yeah, I was coming back on track and he came over and I was like, "What you doing, bro?"
Yeah. Yes. That threw me a bit off as well when I saw that. But the race itself, yeah. How was the race itself?
Yeah, it was a good one. Kept out of trouble at lap 1, which is what I always aim for at Spa. And I think me and Lev started battling a lot on the Kemmel Straight, so
Yeah.
I knew he likes usually going not overtaking through corners, but just overtaking through straights.
Yep.
He didn't hold each other up.
Yep.
And then ACW stone, which was very unfortunate because he was driving a good race before that.
Mm.
And yeah, the first safety car came out, box for mediums, second came out, box for softs, and then yeah, that's all she wrote.
Fair enough. But in a similar question to my to the previous two drivers, next week we're racing at Sochi. Are you feeling a fifer?
Well, I like Sochi because it's like 90-degree corners.
Yep.
That suits my driving style, well of like flicking in like a go-kart.
Okay.
So yeah, it should be alright.
Oh, that's good to hear then. Well,
But
maybe...
congratulations to the colleagues in P2 and P3. Good race, driven boys.
Thanks, mate. Great win again.
Thank you.
That's no, congratulations Ferrari Pro on your victory here at Spa.
Yeah.
And I think, ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap everything up. Not a bad race, I'm sure you'll agree. Starts in the middle were pretty interesting, and then we got a dramatic ending because we got a late race safety car. You always get those dramatic endings with a late race safety car. And as a result, we've seen a bit of history. 4 in a row for Ferrari Pro. See if he can make it 5 next week. But with the race finally over, it's time for us to end the stream. Tune in throughout the week as there's still plenty of racing to come here on Race Spec Esports. But for Pacific Elite, we'll have to wait until next week. Until then, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching. And we'll see you for round 6 of the championship at Sochi Autodrome for the Russian Grand Prix. Goodbye.